Hi, this is Maggie from Design Code Debug Repeat. Thank you for stopping by. So today I'm continuing to work on the tangram game, and I've made one small change, and that is a new background just because, well, we should have a new background. And this is what I imagine the background would look like while you're playing. You would have a puzzle. Maybe it would be, a lot nicer looking around the puzzle, but you have a puzzle, and then you solve the puzzle, and then some fanfare, and then you get to move on to the next puzzle, something like that. I'm not really thinking about building a game structure around this. I am just thinking about sort of the mechanics of doing the tangram puzzle itself. And this isn't necessarily the right size for my pieces. My pieces look a little big, but just gives us the idea of what we're doing here. So what I want to do is generalize the shape class more, and also rewrite the main code, which apparently I have not even put into a function here. We should probably fix that at some point. But rewrite this so that it can handle multiple shapes. So I am going to just sort of jump right into that. What I've decided is, so previously the shape was really just the large triangle shape. And I think what we actually want to do is take these constants out of here, because what we'll do is we will pass all of this information into the constructor. And I think what we're also going to pass into the constructor is the list of rotation controls, and instead of a shadow image, we'll pass in the actual shadow. But let's start by getting that to work, and then we'll add another shape. So for our constants, we'll just rename these a little bit. So this will be large triangle, upper control radius, yep, they're just going to be ridiculously long names for now. Okay, so we're just going to get it to work for the large triangle. We'll add in constants. For another shape, I have a square. The reason I chose the square is because A, it's not another triangle, and 2, the other shape is the parallelogram, but that can also be flipped. So I was thinking of subclassing shape for the parallelogram because I want to add the flip behavior. All right, so with all of those constants, I'm going to grab the rotation control creation code. And let's see. Let's have shapes. Oops. Oh, we have shapes a group. So let's have shapes list, a list, and then, I don't know if, yeah, we might need it. I'm not sure. Then let's create that. So instead of creating a large triangle, let's say create the shapes. We'll say shapes equal. And then, there. It's just going to start out with the large triangle and the shapes. Sorry, that's shapes list. Let's call this shapes group. Let's have it shapes and shapes group instead. Okay. So we have the one shape, but instead of passing in the shadow, we're going to pass in, or rather the shadow image, we're going to pass in the shadow itself, which is another sprite subclass. Doesn't do much. Just draws basically and moves and rotates. Okay, so there. I guess that's just a location. So we're also going to pass in shadow, and before X, Y, we'll pass in controls a list. Okay, so self.shadow equals shadow, self.rotation controls is a list. So let's call that controls and controls group. Okay. And those are only used below. So we've got self.controls. This should be controls group. I'll probably miss a spot that I should change that, but self.rotation controls. So that's just controls. And down here, that's just controls. That's the list we're iterating through, because I still haven't looked up whether you can iterate over a group or not. And I can simplify that and have just the one if we can iterate over a group. Okay, so did I delete the code where I create the controls? Because I need to pass that in here. as a list. Okay, I can go get it from an old file. I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I created a new file to work from because sometimes I do dumb things. Okay, there we go. So there are the rotation controls. We just need to change the constants. And let's move that back a bit. Okay, so it's not shape, upper control radius, but it's large triangle prepended to all of these. All right, so we have shapes is just the one shape, which is the large triangle. We pass in its shadow, and then we pass in a list of rotation controls and the location where we're going to put it, and then we create a shapes group from it. We are going to have, we'll call it current shape, and that will start out as none. Okay, so clicked shape, sprite collided. If clicked shape, then it's going to be the clicked shape. Current shape dot handle mouse down, and then current shape dot handle mouse up. Current shape dot equals none. So here, in case they've clicked somewhere, not in something, if current shape is not equal to none. Okay, and current shape if I don't know if there's a proper way in Python to check for equal to none, so that's another thing. I should make a note to myself. Check none. Or if we can just say not equals to none. So I'm going to check on that, and I'm going to check on iterating over a group, and hopefully I'll do it before the next video. Okay, so let's see. Shadow, large triangle dot controls. Oh, okay. This is my kludge for drawing these. Well, we still have just the large triangle, but let's see. This is now called controls group. And I guess we'll have to say for shape in, is it shapes? And then we have shapes group. Yep. For shape in shapes. Okay. So I'm going to read through this, and I'll speed through that so you don't have to watch too much of it, and I won't talk while I do it. Aha, I found something. Shadow image. That was something I was passing in before. That, once again, I have lost. Let's make that something. So we don't want to load it in. We don't want to keep scaling it, and we don't want to load it in multiple times. So let's have large triangle shadow image. Pygame.surface equals pygame.image.load something. Okay, and then large triangle control image is let me split this up. So we're going to have 7 pieces. Some of them are duplicates, but probably will make sense once I have a whole bunch of them to put them in a list, and then I can just iterate over the list to do the scaling. I need the new version of Pygame so I can do scale by, I think. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to calculate how much I'm scaling by here so I can scale the other shapes controls the same amount. But I have to find that image. Okay, it's large triangle shadow.png. Okay, so shadow is large triangle shadow image, and then instead of doing this transform every time, pass in something that we have already transformed, because that was a huge waste. Okay. Let's call shadow group as well. Okay, so we pass that in here. So that, pass that in when it's clicked on, so that it can, whatever shape is clicked on, can attach its shadow to the shadow group. And then when something is released, the shadow group is emptied. So shadow and shadow. All right, well, now we'll let Python find any additional errors. So here we're just hoping, oops, that it works the same. No, it doesn't. X is not defined. Okay. X plus those were. Okay. That's just it's just kind of random where I'm putting the thing at 20, 20. So I'm going to actually put that in as 20 plus 10, 20 plus 10, just because I don't know where eventually I'm going to put these things. Self. Yep. Okay. Well, that's 0. Okay, the initial rotation. Oh wow. Again, we have a self. Okay. Okay. Center of the shape. Okay. Well, that's going to be 20 plus the size of the image. Shoot. Okay. 20 plus the center. This is the, yeah, the center of the actual shape. So I did not read very carefully at all, did I? Okay. I'm loading it there. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna, for now, I guess I'll calculate that center too. Large triangle center is 20 plus large triangle image dot get width. Okay, well, that was handled by the sprite. Okay, hopefully as I get width and I get height. Hopefully that's surface. Oops. So, oh, so we lost one here. No, wait, those are X and Y, those are separate, right? Yeah, for some reason. Should be consistent about that. All right, let's see, what else have you got for me? Oh no, oh, almost ran. Current shape is not defined. If current shape is not, really? Current shape, okay. This is a shape and it equals none. My goodness, how many times do I tell my students not to do that? Oh my goodness, shadow is not defined. Did you mean shadow? No, I meant shadow group. But thank you, nice try. Where's that? Shadow group, oh, up there. You probably saw me miss that. You were screaming, no. List clear takes no arguments. 2 given. Oh, it's a list. Shapes group. Need a refactor so I don't keep doing this to myself. Okay, well those are in the wrong place. So that's, oh geez. Current shape. List object has no attribute. Handle mouse down. Okay. And that's oh. Okay. That was clicked shape is a list of anything that was in this sprite collide. So we just want the first thing. I guess if I'm not going to allow them, ultimately I'm not going to allow the shapes to be on top of each other. But if that should happen, then we will just get one of them. It's not going to happen, but it will happen while we're working with it here. Okay, but that wasn't the big problem. The big problem was I calculated the center wrong. Is that what happened? So they seemed to be, let's see. No, I don't need the 20 because it's relative to the center, not relative to where the triangle is. That looked like a lot more than 20 though. Yeah, that's off by a lot more than 20. Now they're on the triangle. Oh, I can't move it. Shadow is not defined. Shadow.empty. Shadow group. That caused problems for myself. Okay, so how come initially they're all in the wrong place? Then as soon as we start rotating, they're in the right place. Why is that happening? Can we move it now? We can move it. We can rotate it. But when it starts up, they're in the wrong place. Okay. As soon as we rotate, they situate themselves correctly. That's weird. Because I thought that they were the code's the same. So I'm passing in not really the center, was it? Okay, I did need that offset. Why do I need the offset? Oh, because that does locate it. Oh my goodness. Oh, so stupid. Okay. Yay, we have it working again. Okay, so now we want to add our square. That was painful. Alright, so now we want to add our square. So we're going to do this again. So that's our first shape. But now we're going to do the square. So there's the, let's say load large triangle offsets. And then now let's do the square. So we're going to need to annotate something. So like this. But it'll just be square shadow image, square control image, square image, and square center. Okay. Square control image, square center. Okay, square shadow, square control, square center. Okay. I think so it's just square and square shadow. Now the square is about 154, and I don't know what my scale is. Okay, 30.8. Alright, so, I don't know, we'll go 31. I'll just go 30. Let's go 30 by 30, see how that looks. Okay, so, square shadow image. Okay. And then, oh, where are we going to put it? We don't want to put it on top of the triangle. I don't know. Let's see, how big is the triangle? It's pretty big. Let's put it at, no, sorry, let's put it x20, y200. Just put it somewhere else. I didn't think about that. Okay, square image. Okay, so square shadow image, square control image, square center. And it's going at 2200. Okay, so create a shape. Square image. Square shadow image. Square control image. Let's put that one down. We're going to want 4, and we're going to have to figure out where to put them. Square center. Okay, so I'm going to need some constants, and we'll call them square upper left, the radius is going to be the same. Okay, and one more. Okay, so So let's see. 107. Let's try, because we don't want it, we're centering it. Right, so 76, and then we want to center the control. How big is the control? I think I said about 30. So we're going to want to subtract minus 15. And then let's try subtracting another, I don't know, 10. So we'll try 82 for the radius. And then the upper right control angle is going to be 45. The upper left control angle is going to be 135. The, let's see, lower left control angle is going to be 225. And the lower right control angle is going to be 315. Okay, what else do we need to change for the center? I'm in the triangle. Don't do that. What just happened? Okay. Oh, I already did center. Okay. Alright, well, let's see. No. Oh. I did again. Alright, oh, this is before. Oh, look at you. Okay, so what on earth have I done here? Those just are in a completely different place from the square, so they're moving with it, which is nice, but I can't rotate it. So the, who's picked up and who's put down seems to be working great. I just have once again located those things incorrectly. So what on earth did I do? Oh, I didn't change it down here. Okay. There we go. Alright, so you can move. You can rotate. Let's pretend we're doing this rabbit. Let's pretend that goes there. Okay, you can move. And you can rotate. And you would go kind of there. Now this is ugly, but as we know, those aren't going to be drawing like that. But that is kind of funny that I can pass my shape. This just has to do with the drawing order of the groups. And I think now there is such a thing as a group where you can have an order to things. But these controls are not going to be drawing, remember. I plan to make the controls part of the actual images, and I will have sprites, but they're going to be invisible. They're not going to be drawing. They're just going to be used for collision detection. Okay, well, that was an odyssey of errors, but we got there. And it seems to be a reasonable design for having multiple shapes that we can rotate. So again, that nice object-oriented design, if you design the classes correctly so that they're sufficiently general, then you can have as many objects as you want and they're all going to behave correctly. So now I can do the part I really don't want to do, I think, which is the art part. I don't think I'm going to do the art part yet. Here's what I want to add to this for next time. So for next time, what I want to be able to do is if I try to put this down here, I want it to, oh yeah, that one's first in the group. So I would have to reorder the group too. But I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow things to be on top. So what I want to do is if I try to put something down on top of something else, it will sort of shimmy back to its original location, or in the direction of its original location until it's no longer colliding with the shape. I think that's how I want to handle that. So I think we'll do that next time so I can put off doing any more art. And then maybe we'll subclass so that we can have a flipping control as well. So that'll be fun. We'll do a little inheritance there. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have fun programming games, and I hope that in some way this video was useful for you. See you next week.